What is up, my friends and family? I'm Charmx, and today I'm going to be reacting to Eaten Alive by Leeches by Brave Wilderness. Now, I reacted to a video called Surviving a Leech Attack, I believe that's what it was called, and basically Coyote had like leeches everywhere on him, and I think that was the aftermath of this video here. So in this video, I think this is where he gets attacked by the leeches, and the video I reacted to before was where he was trying to like, teach people how to, you know, survive the leech attack. So I'm kind of doing things backwards, which is, that's to be expected at this point. It seems that I do everything backwards, but with that being said, the original link's in the description. Hopefully this is going to be quite awesome, and make sure you go subscribe to Brave Wilderness if you haven't already. And without any further ado, let's begin.
You know, normally on a day like this, I'd be out there in the lily pads catching snapping turtles. But today, we're going to do something a little different. Now, when we post these Dragon Tales episodes, a lot of you write in and say, Coyote, how many times have you been covered in leeches? And the answer to that question is absolutely never. In fact, in 20
You've never had to deal with leeches, even though you're jumping into like leech-infested water? How's that possible?
years of catching turtles, being in swamps, ponds, lakes, ankle deep to neck deep, I have had virtually zero leeches end up on my body.
How?
The only time I think I've ever actually had a leech on me is when I've been holding a snapping turtle and one has actually crawled off the turtle and onto my hand. And even when they did, they would suction on, but they would never suck blood. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the movie Stand By Me. You know, that scene when the kids wander down into the swamp and get covered in leeches and they're like, ah, we're being eaten alive. That does not happen. So what we're gonna do today is prove that not all leeches suck human blood. Now I'm sure you're thinking to yourselves,
I'm thinking that you're crazy. But then again, that's why I love this channel.
Coyote, I thought we were going to see some leech bites, and you just said, not all leeches suck human blood. And they don't. But I wouldn't let you guys down. So today we are going to test what happens when my arm goes into a container with two different species. What I have here are two separate containers. This one has your common freshwater leech, ones like we would find in the pond right behind me here.
Leeches freak me out. They're so gross. They're so freaking gross. And I've actually seen them in real life, like in the wild. Like, I've never had to deal with them. But I've seen, I think it was, I saw one in real life. We were at like some creek or something, and I was like moving a rock, and I saw one like slither away. Oh my, nasty things.
These live in North America. And in this hand are the European medicinal leeches. These ones are from overseas, and trust me when I say that they absolutely love human blood. All right, what I'm gonna do now is dump the freshwater leeches into the container, and I'm gonna put my arm in there. You guys ready?
Do it.
Here you go, guys. Look at that. They are creepy looking, but I'm not nervous right now.
Very creepy.
Because I know that these leeches will not suck blood. Even if they attach to my arm, it's more of them being curious and testing out the environment than it is them wanting to get a meal.
Then what do they eat if they don't suck blood? What could they possibly eat if they don't suck blood? Are they vegetarian?
Moment of truth. My arm is about to go into the container with the freshwater leeches. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. I said I wasn't nervous, but even still, putting your arm into a container with any leeches definitely get your heart rate going. Oh boy, that one looks like it's actually going towards my arm right there. You see that? Most species of freshwater leeches, especially the ones that can be found in the United States, feed on small invertebrates or cold-blooded species like reptiles and amphibians. They are rather intelligent, and this is something new in their environment. They're going right up to my arm, and they're actually turning away. Look at that. I kept my arm submerged in the container for 15 minutes.
Wait, so does that mean that you can go in like water infested with leeches, at least in North America, and you won't have any leeches on you?
And wasn't bitten by a single leech.
Maybe it does mean that.
Okay, so I think at this point we have proven that the freshwater leeches have no interest in sucking my blood. Let's bring out the European medicinal leeches and see what happens with those. The next type of leech is native to Eurasia and is likely the most famous species, as they have often been used in various medical procedures like reconstructive surgery.
It looks like a worm, but moves like a caterpillar. It's disturbing. Also, Since these leeches are not, you know, they're not from North America, does that mean when he's done with this video, he's gonna kill them or put them into the wild? Because if you put them into the wild and they start breeding and whatever, that's how you bring, like, an invasive species over to a different country, is by bringing them over and then setting them free in the wild. So you better not be setting these free, because I don't think anyone wants these in North America.
They live in muddy freshwater ecosystems and are notorious for feasting on blood. I just went and picked up the container of European medicinal leeches. You probably even noticed the change in the inflection of my voice. I am actually nervous at this point. These leeches are going to adhere to my arm, and they are going to consume my blood. They haven't eaten in a few days, and trust me when I say that they are hungry. All right, you ready for me to put them into the container, Mark?
All right.
Where'd you get them from,
Here
Coyote?
All right, this is it. No turning back now. This is for science.
Yes, science!
Oh boy,
A lot of leeches in there, Coyote.
this is gonna be crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's about time to stick my arm into a container full of leeches.
I know I said this in the last episode, or the surviving a leech attack episode. Can the leeches give you a disease? Because I know they're sucking blood out, but can they also, like, transmit a disease to you, like Lyme disease or something else? Because I could see that being possible. I don't know if it is, but I can see it being possible.
Oh my gosh, they're just squirming all over the place. This is gonna be intense. Are we ready for me to be eaten alive by leeches?
I think so.
You're ready? Mark, you're ready. I know you're ready.
The camera's ready.
Camera's
they're
ready. Coyote pack?
Nasty.
I feel like you're probably ready. All right,
There's a lot of leeches in there.
there's a lot of leeches. All right, so without further ado, I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to be eaten alive by leeches. Ready? 1, 2, here we go.
This is not a good idea. Also, where do you even get these leeches? Because they're from a different, like, continent. Does, like, your local pet shop have these leeches? Like, where do you find them? Or did you buy them on Amazon and have them shipped over? Like, where do you find them?
3. That gets your nerves going, that's for sure.
Oh, they're coming.
Look at that.
They're coming.
This one already, boom. Just like that, instantaneous, secured to my arm. Mackerel. They're just like swarming towards my arm. Look at that.
Why do you have to zoom in on his eyes? Like, they're like this. Like, I don't need to see a close-up of that.
One on my arm there, that's 3. In a matter of seconds. My arm has been in here for, hold on, this one's like trying to go up my shirt. Go this way. Boom, another one there on my hand. My heart is racing right now. Look at that.
Oh,
They are
wow.
all over me. Ah. Oh, I can definitely feel something happening.
Yeah, they're draining your blood. They're draining your blood.
Ooh, it feels like sandpaper grinding against my skin. My hand and arm have been in the water for about 60 seconds, and all but one leech is now on my arm. Now, the way that the leech's sucker works is they adhere on and they release from their saliva an anticoagulant enzyme. That enzyme not only numbs the skin, it also doesn't allow the blood to clot. Now, they have teeth that are kind of in the shape of a Y. Here, Mark, look at my fingers. It looks like this, the 3 teeth of a leech. They go like that and they slice into you. And I can feel them actually cutting into my arm. And look at that, look at how that leech is bent over. It is holding on with the posterior sucker, which is the tail, and it is consuming blood from the anterior sucker, which is the mouth. And holy cow, is this uncomfortable.
Why did you have to use so many leeches? Why couldn't you just use 1 or 2? Like, there's like a dozen on his arm. Why? You don't have to go overboard. Just do 1 or 2. I don't understand why you had to use so many. It's like, ugh.
It has been about 20 minutes so far since my arm has been in the water.
Why? Why did you wait 20 minutes? But just take it out after they're on your arm. You don't have to wait 20 minutes. I don't understand.
I'm gonna pan the camera down. Look at how big the leeches have gotten. They are completely
huge.
swollen with blood at this point. At this juncture, I think these leeches have had enough of a feast. It's time to get them off of my hand and arm. Now, there is a right way and a wrong way to remove a leech from your body. You may think,
I don't understand why you waited 20 minutes. You didn't have to feed them your blood. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to wait 20 minutes. Why couldn't you take them off after like a minute?
yank it off. Yanking it off is bad because you can actually pull their teeth out into the wound. Those teeth get left in the wound, you can end up with an infection. Now you may think to yourself, well, maybe I should put salt on it or put a lighter behind it and
Yeah, I've always heard that salt will get them off.
heat it up and it will be like, I'm scared, let me get out of here. That's also really bad because it will actually cause the leech to regurgitate some of its food into the wound. That also will cause an infection. Now the best way to remove a leech is to just use the edge of your finger. And what I want to do is softly slide.
Yeah, this is what happened in the other video. He just like took his finger and like slid them off or something. I always heard that salt worked, but apparently, as he said here, if you put salt on them, they can start like regurgitating the food, which I guess is the blood, back into the wound. Yeah, no, I do not want that happening.
The anterior sucker off of the wound. Okay, you ready for that?
How do you know which is which?
Well, it's obvious that this is the anterior side, as you can see the back end is not attached to anything. And look at that leech. Oh, that one just popped off. Oop, and that one popped off too. Look at that. Well,
Oh, the blood's coming.
there's also the instance where the leech has eaten enough and it's going to just release itself on its own. Those two leeches are so...
Okay, that was one of the questions I had. I didn't ask it, but I was wondering, if a leech is full, will it just let itself off, or will it just stop eating but still hang on your arm in case it gets hungry later on, then it'll start eating again? But apparently they'll just, they'll stop when they're done.
full of blood, they are done eating. Look at how big that leech is. It is full of blood. Look at the blood just pouring out of my hand at this point. Well, there you have it, the final leech. You guys ready? Dinner's over, buddy. The blood, it's like there's a lot of water in my blood. That's the anticoagulant just breaking down all the platelets.
Why couldn't you just do 2 leeches, like I said? Why did you have to go all out? Now your arm looks like it's through a war zone or something. It does not look good.
And you can just see my blood almost looks really, really thin. And it's all about the amount of anticoagulant that actually went into my hand. I may be bleeding for hours at this point. My hand is actually numb, and that's how these leeches look at how big and fat and heavy they all are at the bottom of the tank there.
You fat shaming them?
The water is all red. As you can see, drips of blood falling down into the water. Only thing left to do now is clean up this mess. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how to dress a leech bite if you're ever unfortunate enough to get one.
So the other video that I reacted to was after this, so I did do things backwards. And I'm quite curious to know what's going to happen to the leeches that actually suck the blood, because they're not native to North America. So if you were to put them in the North American environment, they might start, like having kids or whatever, and then they might become, an invasive species. So what did you do with them? Did you bring them back to the pet store you bought them from? Can you imagine them going back to like the pet store? Hey, I'd like to return these. I let them suck on my arm for 20 minutes. They're not the pet I want. I would love to see the employees' reaction to that. Anyway, guys, I hope you did like this video. I still can't believe he did this, especially with this many leeches. Why didn't you just use 2 or 1? You don't have to use a dozen to get your point across. We know that leeches can suck blood. I don't know. Anyway, if you like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend if you're new, and subscribe to join the family today, and also make sure you go subscribe to Brave Wilderness. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Boop.